From that program, I have a few things that really, stayed with me through my career. So one of them is the kind of work ethic we expect of the students. We were exposed constantly to practitioners, emphasis around collaborative work.
What did this do to you, or how did this prepare you somehow?
We want to build students who are able to just dive in and contribute on day one, and I think the program does that really well.
Hi, so I'm Dr. 𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 the Dean of the School of Media and Marketing at the University of Asia and the Pacific, UA&P. Today I'm in conversation with one of our alumni who has made a big shift from marketing to what he's doing today, right? So let me introduce him to you. Is Martin Gonzalez. He is the Principal of Organization and Leadership Development at Google in the global headquarters in California. He has run leadership courses for thousands of startup founders across 70 countries in the Americas, Asia, Africa, and Europe. He is also a lecturer on entrepreneurship, organizational design, and people analytics at Stanford, Wharton, and INSEAD. And in spite of his very busy schedules, Martin makes time to also lecture at the School of Media and Marketing at UA&P. But most important of all, Martin is a graduate, right? He graduated in 2005 from UA&P with a degree in integrated marketing communication. 𝗪𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. So hello, Martin.
Thanks for having me.
That was a long intro, but I guess that was it had to be done. So maybe you can tell us about your book.
Yeah.
I mean, this is phenomenal success,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Thank you. So in many ways, I started my career doing product management and then strategy, consulting. And I realized in the process of doing that work that business leaders enjoyed telling them this fictional story that there is this enemy that's usually outside of the company. It's a competitor in the market. It's a regulator. It's some kind of external force. And when I would do that work with them, I realized very quickly that actually the enemy was oftentimes within it. It was the complexity that the company had built over time. It's the conflict that happens among team members. It's the inability to make, decisive, moves, because they're weighed down by all the people related issues. And so I thought at some point about 12, 15 years ago to then do this pivot and then focus my energy and my mental horsepower around this topic of people issues. So the book, The Bonfire Moment, is actually our attempt at encapsulating what we've seen and working with, all these innovators around the world. Like what are the patterns that we've seen time and time again these teams fall into? It's based on a study that actually was done out of Harvard years ago now, that says that 65% of startups fail because of people issues. And so the book is meant to really break that down and share with the reader what we think the bigger issues are and how to solve it.
And you did this. You were doing something like this within Google, right?
Yes.
Because if so,
So this book is actually a product of what we call a 20% project at Google.
I see.
My core job is I do this kind of organ leadership work with our AI research and engineering teams.
Oh, okay.
So I spend a lot of time with the geeks of Google, the heart of Google that's building the future.
Right. Now, but you did this with you co-authored this. So
yes.
Who's your co-author?
So I co-authored it with Josh Yellen. Josh was in the leadership team in our Google Accelerator program.
I see.
And when he was building out the program, he reached out to internal, experts, so to speak, like myself around, what can we do to help startup founders really tackle some of these people issues. And so he was the first person that saw saw this little program that I had built and said, look, we need to scale this around the world. And so he was a big part of really bringing it to all these many countries. Yeah.
Amazing. Great. Well, the other thing, by the way, Martin is based in San Francisco, but is here. And so we are taking advantage to have this little meet up with him. So, your career, wow, I just, I read it all out, and there's a lot more that I didn't say, but and as I said, this all began, here home, right? So could you tell us a little bit about what your UA&P, and if you may also, your course, Integrated Marketing Communication, what did this do to you, or how did this prepare you somehow? I mean, of course, there are many factors, right? But could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So as you said, I no longer practice, brand management.
Right.
But I think from that program, I think I picked up a few things that really, stayed with me through my career. So I think one of them is the kind of work ethic you expect of the students.
Okay.
You expect a lot. You expect a lot from us. And I thought that was really good training ground to understand, like, what is the bar of excellence we need to have? What does it mean to work hard and to work smart towards those big, ambitious goals? So that was one. I think second, I really love the fact that we were exposed constantly to practitioners, because then it took what was theoretical to a place that was really practical, where you're solving real world issues.
Right.
And I thought that was really, really valuable.
I remember how you hated all this academic readings that you needed to do.
And here I am teaching in academia. But that was really valuable. I think it exposed us to really what, a lot of other programs, if I can say this, a lot of other programs will have a lot of academics who are doing cutting edge research, but many of them aren't really grounded in some of the realities of business and this, and some people might want to be physicists one day or mathematicians, and that's fine. Yeah. But if you're in business, like, there's nothing that compares to this. The last thing I'd say about that program is, you had a lot of emphasis around collaborative work. I think every class had a group project, right? It was always that. And I thought that was actually brilliantly designed, because the moment you step into the corporate world, you realize there's almost nothing that you do that's solo. And so figuring out, like, how do you deal with the dynamics of a team, with people,
understanding people.
Exactly. All of that I thought was really valuable.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So to end this very quick thing, so would you recommend this program?
100%. I think if folks are interested in getting into, brand marketing, advertising, I guess even now media work.
Right.
I remember one of my first bosses when I was a management trainee at J&J. He was explaining to me that I needed to write a brief that would then become the briefing document for a focus group discussion. He started to say, well, an FGD means a focus group. I said, I know all of that. Like, I got it. He's like, wow, this is amazing. You seem to be a plug and play employee. Like, you can just really jump in. So I thought that was a really big, that was, we want to build students who are able to just dive in and contribute on day one. And I think the program does that really well.
Fantastic.
So you should definitely do this program.
Wow. Thank you very much. Well, that's it. I hope this gives people a bit of a perspective on what we try to do and offer here at the IMC program at UA&P. Thanks very much, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.